Today's show is sponsored by the Electric Vehicle Association. Join up to support the electrification of transport and get the help you need to finance your own EV or clean energy future. And by Energy Sage. Visit the link in the description to find local, verified solar experts, community projects, and heat pump specialists in your area. And by you. Support the channel today and help us remain 100% independent. Welcome back to another episode of TEN Transport Evolved News. Thanks for joining me. And as with last week, a quick shout out this time to Australia for not giving in to hate and fear last week. Well done. We start today's show with a trio of quarterly earnings calls, beginning with Ford, which beat Wall Street expectations but warned of serious headwinds from current US tariff policy. In the first quarter, Ford brought in $40.7 billion, surpassing the $38 billion forecast, with adjusted earnings per share of 49 cents, a solid win over the expected break-even point. Although April's EV sales were underwhelming for the brand, which will hit next quarter's numbers, Ford's Model E division still pulled in $1.2 billion in Q1, just $200 million shy of the previous quarter. Losses remained high at $849 million, but that's a noticeable improvement from the $1.4 billion loss in Q4, thanks largely to new EV launches in Europe and improved production costs. However, Ford says tariffs will cost it $2.5 billion this year, prompting the company to withdraw its formal guidance for 2025. Ford CEO Jim Farley reiterated the importance of the Mustang Mach-E to Ford's long-term future, but confirmed that prices for all Mexican-built vehicles, including the Mustang Mach-E, will increase due to tariffs. Meanwhile, Rivian published its first quarter results this week, marking its second consecutive quarter of gross profits and some serious momentum. It brought in a total of $206 million in gross profit, $92 million from its automotive segment and $114 million from software and services. Most impressive was a sharp drop in automotive cost of goods sold, down $22,600 per vehicle compared to this time last year. That milestone helped unlock a further $1 billion in pre-committed investment from Volkswagen, which Rivian expects to receive via the two firms' joint venture by the end of June. And despite current market pressures, CEO RJ Scaringe confirmed the upcoming Rivian R2, now in validation builds, will start at $45,000 thanks to Rivian's mainly US-centric supply chain. Add to that a new $16 million incentive package from Illinois to support a $120 million supplier park, and Rivian is showing signs of strength at a time when many rivals are tightening their belts. And rounding out today's earnings trio is Lucid, which, while yet to turn a profit and it missed Wall Street expectations, did make solid progress cutting losses in its most recent quarter. The company reported revenue of $235 million, up from $173 million year over year, helped in part by a 28% jump in deliveries, with some of Lucid's newest buyers trading in Teslas in protest over Elon Musk's recent behaviour. Lucid's adjusted loss per share was 20 cents. Interim CEO Mark Winterhoff highlighted growing Gravity SUV production and reaffirmed the company's 20,000 vehicle target for this year, tariffs or not. Bolstered by ongoing support from the Saudi Public Investment Fund, Lucid says it has just over $5.75 billion in liquidity. It's currently building its local factory in the Kingdom and preparing a second shipment of Gravity SUVs for delivery there in the coming weeks. Hyundai officially priced its three-row IONIQ 9 SUV and released official range estimates for the US market this week. Built in the US, it is currently eligible for federal clean vehicle credits, more on that shortly, and will be offered in 6 trim variants. The entry-level IONIQ 9 rear-wheel drive S pairs a 160-kilowatt motor with a 110.3 kilowatt-hour NCM battery pack, delivering an EPA range of 335 miles, 539 kilometers per charge, and it starts at just under $59,000 before incentives and delivery. At the top end, the IONIQ 9 all-wheel drive performance calligraphy design puts out 314.6 kilowatts at the wheels, seats 6 with second-row captain's chairs, and rides on 21-inch wheels while offering an EPA range of 311 miles, 500 kilometers with the same battery pack. It begins at just under $77,000 before incentives and delivery. While Tesla still hasn't met its initial production promises for the Tesla Semi, delivering only a few hundred instead of the thousands it touted would be made by now, Volvo Trucks just celebrated selling its 5,000th all-electric truck. Volvo's electric fleet now spans 50 countries, led by Germany, the Netherlands, the United States, Norway and Sweden. In Europe, it has topped the heavy-duty electric truck segment for the 5th straight consecutive year, capturing 47% market share with 7 models: the FL Electric, FE Electric, FM Electric, FM Low Entry Electric, FMX Electric, FX Electric, and FH Aero Electric. In North America, its lone offering, the VNR Electric, is proving popular with fleet operators. Despite renewed anti-EV pushback in some countries, companies running large fleets on fixed routes are embracing electric big rigs for day-to-day and drayage duties, and as we covered a few weeks back, major trucking corridors are now seeing dedicated EV truck charging stops opening up. Stellantis has officially launched its new Jeep Compass EV this week. It's the brand's most affordable electric model, sold alongside hybrid and plug-in hybrid variants. Built on the STLA Medium platform, which also underpins the Peugeot E3008, E5008, Citroën C5 Aircross, Opel Grandlad, and others, the Compass EV will be offered in 3 trims: a front-wheel drive model producing 158 kilowatts, a mid-range variant, and an all-wheel drive version with 280 kilowatts. DC fast charging is standard, with up to 160 kilowatts, and the onboard AC charger supports 22 kilowatt 3-phase charging. Jeep claims up to 500 kilometers, 310 miles for its longest ranged variant, pending official European testing. The first edition is now for pre-order, featuring premium interior trim and level 2 driver assistance packages. Pricing will be announced soon, with deliveries beginning in key markets by the end of the year. Alphabet's self-driving division Waymo just inked a new partnership with Magna to dramatically scale up its fleet of autonomous Jaguar I-Pace EVs. Yeah, the same I-Pace that quietly entered production last year. Under the deal, Magna will open a dedicated facility in Mesa, Arizona to convert stored I-Paces into robotaxis. It's a full circle moment. Magna built the I-Pace under contract for Jaguar, and now it's handling the autonomous conversions for Waymo, aiming to put more than 2,000 on the road. Once the I-Pace conversions are done, the Mesa site will pivot to outfitting Waymo's next-gen Zeekr RT robotaxi, which is purpose-built for autonomy. And, since these are robotaxis, they won't need drivers to leave the factory. They'll literally just be able to roll out on their own. Sure, Waymo's fleet still stumbles now and then, but if anyone is close to a viable robotaxi rollout, it's Waymo, not Tesla. Especially not this week, after the US Patent Office ruled that robotaxi is too generic a term to trademark. It's worth repeating. The real-world range you'll get from an EV, just like fuel economy in a gas-powered vehicle, can and will vary from official figures. Some EVs struggle to match their rated range, and others sail right past it. And this week, the 2025 Chevrolet Silverado EV work truck proved it's in the latter camp. In Edmunds' latest real-world test, the electric pickup recorded a staggering 535 miles of range on a mixed city and highway route, making it the longest-legged EV the publication has ever tested. But don't get too excited yet. The test truck was fitted with GM's largest available battery, a colossal 205 kilowatt-hour pack. It also wasn't towing or hauling and was driven in spring-like temperatures at an average of 40 miles per hour along routes split roughly 40% highway and 60% city. Its efficiency at the end was just 2.2 miles per kilowatt hour. In short, the Silverado didn't win by sipping electrons. It muscled its way there with a battery so large and vehicle so heavy that in large parts of Europe you would be legally required to have a commercial driver's license to operate it. Nobody, no company is perfect. In fact, we all make questionable decisions, and in over 15 years of covering this industry, I've made plenty and seen plenty from automakers. But this week, a story crossed my desk that's particularly poor in face. Tech company Xiaomi, new to the car world, pushed an over-the-air update to its flagship SU7 Ultra to not add features, but to reduce power output and neuter the vehicle's sprint time. When it was launched, the SU7 Ultra was pitched as a direct rival to the Tesla Model S Plaid and Porsche Taycan Turbo GT. It offered a sub 2-second sprint time and over 1.1 megawatts of power. I will guess, though, after some complaints, likely about safety, Xiaomi remotely limited that performance, and the update required owners to complete a qualifying lap time at a Xiaomi-approved track before it was then given full power again. Unsurprisingly, owners were outraged, and Xiaomi eventually reversed the decision to save face. Now, I get it. If you want to restrict performance for safety, that is great. Nobody needs that kind of power on the public road. But here's the golden rule. If you plan to gate performance behind a track mode or an assessment, do it from the get-go. Don't promise full things, then restrict it later. As the impacts of tariffs spread and a near total breakdown in federal programs continues across the US, the current budget fight on Capitol Hill wants to slash services left and right, while somehow aiding massive bonuses for ICE agents and boosting federal funding for legal services. And the latter may be tied to a growing number of legal challenges being filed against the federal government, like 2 major lawsuits this week, targeting the White House for freezing funding and permits for previously approved wind farms and EV infrastructure programs. On Monday, 17 state attorneys general and the District of Columbia filed suit in Massachusetts over an executive order signed by President Trump on January 20th. That order halted all on- and offshore wind projects, and the suit alleged it violates the Administrative Procedures Act and other federal laws. Midweek, a similar case landed in federal court in California, this time over the sudden freeze of funds committed under the National Electric Vehicle Infrastructure Program as established by President Biden. The complaint called the freeze a, quote, gift to China, end quote, accusing the administration of intentionally slowing EV adoption by pulling support for charging infrastructure. The result of that has been funds disappearing, projects shuttered midstream, and ripples spreading across the entire industry, which hurts current and future EV drivers alike. Also, the government can drill, baby, drill, and pollute, baby, pollute. We really are in the bad timeline. But hey, if you are hoping to make this timeline a little less terrible and you are in the US thinking about adding solar to your home, now might be the perfect time to talk to one of today's show sponsors, Energy Sage. Energy Sage helps homeowners connect with local verified solar installers across the US and now heat pump specialists in select markets who really know their stuff and can help you navigate the process of installing solar panels, join a community solar program, or get a heat pump installed. We used Energy Sage when we were looking for installers willing to help us put solar panels on the roof of our home, and our Energy Sage verified installers were professional, knowledgeable, and even put us in touch with an amazing credit union that allowed us to finance our solar panels for as low a monthly payment as possible. Follow the links below to sign up for either of Energy Sage's free, no-obligation services and get that ball rolling today. If you choose to use an Energy Sage installer for your project, we will also get a small referral fee, so you'll be helping us out too. Help the grid get greener, save money, and support this channel? It's a win-win-win. And now, it's time for our news shorts. Ford is recalling just 3 of its 2023 model year F150 Lightning trucks to fix an issue with the battery pack. According to the recall, the bus bars inside the pack may have been incorrectly torqued, which could cause electrical arcing. Ford will reach out to owners of affected trucks. Polestar has recalled the Polestar 2 over a rear-view camera issue. In some cases, the camera may not activate automatically when shifting into reverse, reverse, meaning they're in violation of federal motor vehicle safety standards. A dealer-installed software update will fix the problem. Volkswagen has recalled the ID Buzz after being told its third-row seats are too wide. Yep. Under federal law, they're technically large enough for 3 people to fit in, even though there are only 2 seat belts. So to comply with law, Volkswagen will install seat bolsters to narrow the seats and avoid confusion or extra passengers. VinFast has abruptly closed all of its European showrooms. According to multiple reports, the company will liquidate showroom assets in the second quarter, with lease contracts ending soon thereafter. The automaker blames macroeconomic conditions, trade disputes, general uncertainty and tariffs for its sudden European exit. As automakers weigh the impact of US tariffs on their bottom line, Audi is reportedly considering starting EV production in the US. Unlike its rival Porsche, Audi already has access to US manufacturing via the Chattanooga, Tennessee plant, where the Volkswagen ID.4 EV, its twin, is already built. For the second time in history, Volta Trucks has filed for insolvency, this time involving UK parent company and an Austrian subsidiary. The UK receivers are currently seeking investors, but without success, the company will likely face liquidation. As is usually the case, watch this space. Novo Energy, a battery subsidiary of Volvo Cars, has announced it's cutting around 150 jobs, one half of its staff, at its facility. Originally a joint venture between Volvo and Northvolt, Volvo took over Northvolt's stake after Northvolt ran into financial troubles last year. Connected Energy, in collaboration with Forsee Power, has signed a cooperation agreement to develop a scalable modular energy storage solution. The new system will incorporate second-life battery packs from Connected Energy, paired with Forsee Power's Zen 35 and Zen 42 battery packs, allowing for easy expansion to meet varying energy demands. Hyundai has unveiled a new electric vehicle called the Alexio SUV. Unfortunately, the mid-size vehicle has been designed for the Chinese market and won't be sold elsewhere. It will offer up to 700 kilometers, 435 miles of range on the Chinese test cycle. Geely, the parent company of Zeekr, is planning to delist the brand from the US stock market due to concerns over market volatility and EV support in the US. Geely, which owns around 65% of the firm, aims to buy out the remaining shares and make the brand private again. European sales data from April shows BYD is surpassing even Tesla in the plug-in vehicle market. While its global sales were impressive, BYD saw a remarkable 756% year-over-year increase in sales in Germany during April, with other European markets also showing impressive triple-digit growth. The UK's Royal Mail, in partnership with Magtech, is adding 2 new 19-ton electric lorries to its fleet. These vehicles will transport mail between London's sorting centres, cutting reliance on fossil fuels. The Royal Mail already uses smaller battery electric delivery vans on regional mail routes. While BYD initially planned to produce only EVs in Europe, it's now shifting its strategy to include plug-in hybrids. The automaker cites changes in European policies, likely including relaxed emission requirements, as the reason for adding PHEVs to its European production lineup. It might be a sign of the times, but Cadillac has reportedly not yet sold all of its planned 2025 allocation of super-luxury, hand-built Celestiq EVs. Initially, the brand had predicted that it would have more buyers than available cars, but many of its early hand-raisers have since backed out, and there are still spaces for the 25 cars. I wonder why. A federal judge has placed Bollinger Motors into court-ordered receivership after founder Robert Bollinger sued current owner Mullen Automotive for failing to repay a $10 million loan he made late last year. All assets of Mullen Automotive have been frozen. We'll keep you posted. The European Union Parliament has approved easing CO2 targets for fleets across the Union. The proposal, requested by the EU Commission, passed with over an 80% majority and will give the auto industry more time to meet emissions targets at the detriment of air quality. BYD and Tsingshan, sorry if I mispronounced that, have announced that they're pulling out of a planned lithium cathode production facility in Chile. The companies cite falling lithium prices, though the global tariff war also likely played a role too. Canadian EV maker Lion Electric looks headed for liquidation after a planned bailout from the Quebec government collapsed. Best known for its electric school buses, the company also makes a range of electric commercial vehicles. It's previously operated facilities in both Canada and the US. Mitsubishi Motors says its next-gen EVs will go on sale in the US and Canada from mid-next year, starting with a rebadged version of the upcoming refreshed Nissan Leaf. The company also confirmed it will continue selling its Outlander plug-in hybrid. Montreal has set a new target to install more than 11,000 EV charging points across the city by 2030. As part of a major clean transportation initiative, chargers will appear in public car parks and accessible private properties. It's the latest Canadian metro area to lean into EV adoption. Très bien. Phoenix Contact, a major supplier to the EV industry, has unveiled a new CCS connector capable of delivering up to 1 megawatt of peak charging power. While it remains compatible with current CCS designs, the high output is intended for short bursts, not sustained megawatt charging. Kia has introduced a new entry-level version of its EV6 for the UK market called the EV6 Air. It comes with a smaller 63 kilowatt-hour battery pack and offers up to 265 miles of range on the WLTP test cycle. Prices start at just under £40,000 sterling. Menenkes, the company behind the AC charging inlet that has become the standard for EVs in Europe, has announced plans to offer DC fast charging products starting early next year. The company has acquired the rights to use DC fast charging systems from Munich-based startup ChargeV, adding them to its portfolio. German thin film specialist Leonhard Kurz, in partnership with Chinese tech firm Horizon, has announced a new joint venture to create a material production company. The focus of this collaboration will be on manufacturing battery separator films for use in EV battery packs. Mack Trucks, which I should note is part of the Volvo group, has announced a new battery electric version of its latest highway truck, the Mack Pioneer. Unlike most electric trucks, the Mack Pioneer Electric will be available as a day cab or a 44-inch short sleeper. Chicago's Department of Transportation is seeking public feedback on its new plan, the Chicago Moves Electric Framework. This ambitious initiative aims to increase the number of charging stations across the metro area in the coming years, and it doesn't rely on federal funding to reach its goals. Zero Motorcycles has announced a significant price increase for its X line of electric motorcycles due to current US import tariffs on goods coming into the country. The price hikes will take effect on May 18th, but any orders placed before them will be honoured with the old price. Hyundai has updated its smartphone app for EV owners in North America, making it easier to find and pay for charging. The update includes access to Tesla superchargers and seamless payment at stations partnered with Hyundai's Remming network. Sales data from the Netherlands shows that the two EVs shared the top spot for the sales ranking in April were the Kia EV3 and Škoda Elroq. Notably, while EVs made up 1/3 of all new cars sold in the country last month, the most popular models were more budget-friendly options. Siemens has unveiled a new product for fleet managers in the US designed to help them track and automatically reimburse drivers for at-home charging. The system uses connected charging stations at employees' homes and can distinguish between fleet and privately owned vehicles. Volkswagen's charging subsidiary Elii has introduced a new fast-charging product that uses an onboard battery buffer system to minimise sudden spikes in grid demand. Additionally, the firm has announced a strategic partnership with UNITE, a German-based association for medium-sized filling stations. Mercedes-Benz has announced a new partnership with the Mobility House in Europe to integrate bidirectional charging and smart connectivity, offering V2G and smart charging packages for customers across Europe. These technologies have the potential to help save customers money while enhancing grid resilience. SK On has announced a breakthrough in solid-state battery technology. The firm's research team at Hanyang University in Seoul have developed a method to improve the life cycle of sulfide-based solid-state lithium metal batteries. So let us know if you're interested in a deeper dive into the details. It's official. After years of hesitating on going electric, Ferrari has confirmed it will unveil its first all-electric models at its October 9th Capital Markets Day. However, it won't be the full car, just the technological heart at the core of its upcoming model. The full car is expected to go on sale by October next year. The recently elected governor of Delaware has announced plans to eliminate the state's electric vehicle mandate, a policy his predecessor spent nearly 2 years pushing for. It's quite rare to see a Democrat oppose EV mandates, but Governor Matt Mayer says he believes consumers should have the freedom to choose. Meanwhile, lawmakers on Capitol Hill are poised to eliminate the federal EV rebate program in its latest budget. Alongside significant tax cuts for the wealthiest and cuts to federal safety nets for the most vulnerable communities, the Republican majority aims to end EV incentives completely and wants to introduce new taxes on EVs instead. CATL has unveiled a new 20-foot-tall energy storage system capable of storing 9 megawatt-hours of energy, which is enough to charge 150 EVs at once or power an average German home for 6 years without interruption. BYD's impressive growth in European sales, as mentioned earlier, has put both European and US automakers on notice. And this week, sources close to the company revealed to Electrek that the brand aims for one half of all of its vehicles to be sold in 2030 to be outside of China. They are on their way, and they'll keep selling strong. Uber has been busy securing partnerships for its autonomous robotaxi fleet this week, announcing deals in the US with May Mobility and in Europe with Momenta. These partnerships will bring robotaxi services to both markets as Uber continues to push to eliminate the human driver, which is just what we said would happen. And finally, for the news shorts, while Cadillac may be struggling to get buyers into its Celestiq, Renault is having no such trouble with its limited edition Renault 5 Turbo 3e. Renault reports that it has already secured 850 pre-orders, about one half of its total planned production. And those are your news shorts. There will be more next week. Our final 2 news stories are next, but first, a quick word about our most important sponsors. You guys. Transport Evolved is celebrating its 15th year this year, and we've worked hard to stay fiercely independent, thanks entirely to the generous support of viewers like you. We've always kept our content free to access, and we'd love to keep it that way. But to do so, we need your support more than ever. Recent changes at YouTube, including shifting algorithms that penalise creators outside of the million subscriber club, have made things increasingly difficult for small indie channels like this one. And it's been made worse by a deeply troubling policy change. YouTube used to classify anti-LGBTQ harassment as hate speech, but it no longer does. And that decision has left us and other creators we've worked with vulnerable to escalating abuse, which in turn impacts our ability to earn and our ability to stay safe. That is why Patreon has become our primary source of funding. Without increased support, our ability to continue may be at risk. So if you can, please consider supporting us. We're also launching a new business offering third-party video production and EV consulting. So if you or someone you know needs that kind of expertise, reach out. But whether you support us financially, just share our content, or simply watch the video to the very end, it all helps, and we are deeply and eternally grateful. Now, on to those final 2 stories. Mercedes-Benz has been making some big noise about its brand new CLA with EQ technology, and for all the right reasons. On paper, it's the most efficient Mercedes-Benz, at least in production form yet, and one of the most efficient production EVs ever made. But as multiple outlets have reported this week, and as Mercedes-Benz has confirmed, the all-new 800-volt battery pack in the electric CLA isn't compatible with 400-volt charging stations. Unlike most 800-volt EVs, and we've made a video on this, which can usually charge at 400-volt stations thanks to some clever onboard voltage adaptation, the CLA simply won't. That might not seem like a big deal in regions with modern fast charging stations that support both 400 and 800 volts, but there are still significant numbers of charging sites, especially in more rural areas, that are 400 volt only. Mercedes-Benz says it chose to rely exclusively on 800 volt charging to avoid compromising charging performance, and sure, that sounds phenomenal on paper. But in the real world, it feels like a massive own goal, one that could seriously limit the car's usability, confuse potential buyers, and undermine the very appeal of one of the brand's most efficient EVs to date. And honestly, I also feel like it's the kind of thing that feels tailor-made for a Fox News segment to dunk on EVs. And finally, it is no secret that in parts of the world, especially here in the US, we've seen a manufactured war against people who don't look like, sound like, or live like those in power. This has taken the form of deliberate, calculated rollbacks, efforts to end DEI initiatives, vilify the concept of being woke, and erase visibility for minority communities. As a result, many companies, fearful of backlash or desperate not to rock the boat, have pulled back. They've cancelled diversity, equity and inclusion programs, ended accessibility, ended Pride and Black History Month celebrations, and pushed diverse voices out of sight again. And here on YouTube, we see it in the comments every day, in the attacks, in the way the platform has reclassified what once counted as hate speech as nothing, making the space even less safe for queer and minority creators like us. It's hateful, it's ugly, and it's exhausting. So when I got an email from Škoda this week about its new Elroq Respectline, I knew exactly what our final story had to be. Yes, okay, this might be corporate pinkwashing, but the Škoda Elroq Respectline is a concept car the company says was created to embody its core values and to stand as a visible show of support for human diversity. With a striking design, thoughtful interior, and even a special edition sneaker collaboration with Czech brand Botas, it's more than just a vehicle, it's a statement. And right now, at this moment in history, it's a light, a reminder that visibility matters, that dignity matters, and that even amid the darkness, authenticity is a kind of resistance, and also a powerful superpower. So, on that note, we are done with today's show. As always, a huge thank you to the Electric Vehicle Association for sponsoring today's show. The EVA has been advocating for EVs since 1967, and they believe, just like we do at the channel, that our future depends on us making the switch to clean green electric cars today. They can connect you with EV educators, local meetups, and help you make the transition to a cleaner, greener future yourself. And if you become a member, you'll gain access to a clean energy and EV loan program created in partnership with the Colorado Clean Energy Credit Union. You can find out more at myeva.org. And also thanks to Energy Sage. Follow the links below to connect with trusted, verified solar experts who can help you put panels on your roof, help you join a community solar program, or even install a heat pump. Taking control of your energy future has never been easier. And if you've made your transport or energy cleaner this week, whether that's switching to an EV, installing solar, or just simply choosing to walk or take public transport, great job. Well done. If you'd like to support this channel, you can do that from just $1.50 a month on Patreon. And if you are in the Portland area and you need a video production team, don't forget we are available for hire, EV or not, so please reach out. We've also got swag in our store, and you can send one-time donations through Ko-fi, Bitcoin, or even send us old-fashioned checks through the mail. Plus, we now have an Amazon affiliate link you can use to support the show. And yes, I know our website is down right now, it's coming back soon. I promise. You can find more content from us on our main channel and over on Transport Evolve Take 2. We publish every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday here on the main channel, and every Sunday you'll find us on Take 2. To finish, remember this, you are valid, you are loved, and you belong even when politicians, corporations or hateful voices try to say otherwise. This week has yet again been rough. Legislation, hate, court decisions seeking to stifle and separate rather than love and nurture are becoming the norm, and it's getting worse. But we have to keep going, and please know that even the strongest people sometimes need a break. It is okay to not be okay. It is okay to feel angry, scared and overwhelmed, and it's okay to have a cry too. But your existence is resistance. Simply by being here, you make it harder for hate to thrive. Be kind, be bold, speak up, protest peacefully, make good trouble. Attend your local town halls and get involved. And if you are one of the many trans or non-binary service members that was threatened this week by the US government, I want to say thank you for your service. In a week where we remember VE Day and the sacrifices of those who went before, I also want to make sure that you are thanked. You are heroes. Never forget that. So, until next time, stay safe, whoever you are, whoever you love. Be kind. Be an ally. Be the positive change you want to see in the world. And please, for the sake of everyone's future, don't let hate or ignorance or misinformation win. As always, keep evolving.